Benefit King. And we're live. This is Ted Hicks from Late Night Parents. In the queue tonight, we got Tony D, and we have none other. He's graced us with his presence. The grand, incredible Mike Patton is in the building. Golf clap.
The greatest of all of us.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, y'all doing too much, man. How y'all doing?
Man. What's going on, Mike?
How you been?
It's been a minute.
Busy,
it's been a minute since we've spoken, but we've watched you and your presence grow online. So definitely want to let you know, definitely proud of you, of all the stuff that you're doing. Want to get into, ways to find, your shows, the stuff that you write about, some of your endeavors that you have coming up. But really quickly, want to get into your thoughts on the new NFL year. It just started with a bang. Definitely want to introduce you as the founder and provider of, and I just drew a blank. Touring the AFC South. I was about to say the AFC West, and I said, no, it's the South. Okay.
I can talk that too.
Okay. We're probably later on going to get into Aaron Rodgers because I know everyone wants to talk Aaron Rodgers, but I want to talk about things that impacted you seeing this new calendar year that are not Aaron Rodgers that we should keep our eyes open for.
Okay. All right. Now, I can talk about the AFC South if you want, but I can also talk about the team I think that did the best if you would like. And I'm pretty sure you'll like to hear this, especially in the Midwest. All right. Well, I'll talk about the NFL in general first. A surprising move, I would say, is Juju Smith-Schuster. I didn't expect him to sign a 3-year, $33 million deal with the Patriots. I did not expect to see that. So that was very, very surprising to see that happen. So,
I gotta get up.
Can I just jump in and say I thought they didn't pay their players. Well,
Matthew Judon says otherwise because a couple years ago they paid him that mega deal to play defensive end for them. So, they do pay the players. And they did pay Jonathan Jones when all thought that he was going to leave, and they actually signed him to a 2-year extension. So he'll be there too. Now, as far as surprising or I would say some of the best moves, I got to go with the Bears. I like what the Bears are doing. I do like what the Bears are doing. They didn't wait on a running back. They ended up getting Deontay Foreman actually today. And did $3 million. And he was a starting running back after Christian McCaffrey with the year. And then he replaced with Derrick Henry, was hurt in Tennessee. So that's not a bad option at all. And you're only paying him like $3 million. Sign me up for that.
A little bit.
There's a slight hesitation. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Say that again, please.
Okay. Can you hear me good now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Still okay. Okay. I was saying the Bears. I would definitely like what they're doing and what they've been doing. I mean, they did have they signed Deontay Foreman. Then they bring over the tight end for the Green Bay Packers, starting tight end Robert Tonyan. They signed him to a 1-year deal too. So a couple veterans that can play that you're bringing in to accentuate that offense and actually help Justin Fields as a quarterback. So I think those were great moves.
Bless you.
They added to the team. TJ.
Bless you.
More.
Let me ask you this. And you said something very key to me. Carolina Panthers are tearing themselves apart. What are they doing? Did you hear the question?
Well, I don't, they basically are kind of, I heard you. They're kind of, I don't know if they're rebuilding, but they're kind of trying to get that young quarterback to kind of build with, as you would say. The one thing I will say, though, they actually did pay their offensive linemen So they're all going to have the same starting 5 offensive linemen from last year, next year. So they did do that, and they did bring back Shaq Thompson. They kept him there on a rework deal as well. So they're not necessarily tearing it down, but they're kind of retooling just a bit and adding more than likely a rookie quarterback to the equation.
What's up, Sadie? See, they got rid of DJ Moore. Now they got rid of Dante Freeman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm. But
So
Sam Darnold really wasn't a loss, to be honest. But
which shocks me. He should have been.
No, he's actually going to be the backup quarterback for the 49ers, or competing for it next year with the 49ers. He signed a 1-year deal for like $3 million. But to be honest, I mean, his time was done in Carolina. It just was done. To me, he never was the guy. He never was the guy with the Jets. He never was the guy in Carolina. So to me, he's probably going to be on the backup quarterback tour for the rest of his career. Which is crazy because he's not that bad of a quarterback. And if you've seen him play, he hasn't had many good games. He hasn't had many good games. I watched that first season with the Jets. I know the first thing is all everybody remembers is that first throw was a pick six. But what they didn't watch was the whole season. For some reason or another, he's not comfortable in places. And I think with him going to the West Coast, which is where he graduated college from, even though it's not down in LA, because I believe he's USC. I think he's USC. Yeah.
And I might be wrong, but yeah. It was something. I think he'll be okay over there, even though San Francisco's a little bit colder. But I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. And the Carolina Panthers, they're tearing themselves apart.
I can tell you. I was going to be all right next year. They'll be interesting at the wide receiver position, of course, because they do have Chenault that used to be with the Jaguars. He got traded there last year, and they have another guy that's kind of similar to Chenault that they can kind of move in different positions. So it'll be multi-positional at that position, if that makes sense.
I'm talking about Carolina,
but
right?
It'll just be interesting to see what they do. Yes. It'll be interesting to see what they do at the wide receiver spot, though.
It wasn't this draft season. No, it wasn't this previous draft season. It was the season before. I noticed they drafted a lot of young players. I understand the rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
This is bananas. They have literally torn themselves apart, and they're going to start all the way over like the Jets did. Now, we got to see what the quarterback core is looking like. I think they got a decent wide receiver core because who they drafted now they're 2 seasons in, I think they'll be good. But last season was not their best season. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. What I was seeing, I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, when you have Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold at quarterback, a lot of things aren't going to make a lot of sense.
I got to give you that.
So, yeah. So it is what it is, and you got and then of course you got Robbie Anderson that's not playing for them anymore. I'm sorry, he's not Robbie Anderson. He's Robbie Amin Ra. I think now. I think he legally changed his name.
Did he?
Yeah, he changed his last name. So
I'm gonna have to pull my bottle in a minute. Go ahead.
Hey, I just want to jump in and say, Sadie, how you doing? But we watched Sam Darnold as Jets fans in this cold weather, and from coming from USC, the first thing we were saying is put him in warm weather and hopefully he'll do better. But that didn't seem to change when he was with the Panthers.
Honestly, I don't think he's had a necessarily great quarterback-friendly system anywhere he's been. Now, this will probably change because he's playing for arguably the most quarterback-friendly coach in the NFL. I mean, this guy could pretty much take any quarterback and make him good for all intents and purposes. Not saying everyone, but mostly.
Right.
So it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting experiment to see if he actually, the cream rises to the crop and he actually beats out somebody to actually get on the field, which I don't think happens because you got 2 rookies. You got 2 guys on rookie contracts that you're invested in pretty much, and then you got Sam Darnold. But then again, more than likely they're going to pass this rule to have 3 active quarterbacks on the roster. If that happens, Sam Darnold will have a job.
And Arizona's done that.
What's that?
The Cardinals did that a few years ago. Might have been about a decade ago when they went to the Super Bowl. They had 3 decent quarterbacks. That's what made them so dangerous.
Who they had? Weiner?
No. They had Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer, I think it was.
No, Carson wasn't there yet.
So
who came after that? Carson came after that.
Okay, they had 3 decent quarterbacks. They were dangerous.
So, Mike, are you saying next steps for Sam Darnold is the XFL?
No, boy. Now he's getting close to it. I will say that. But next steps might actually be quarterback coach.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, you see Josh McCown's doing it. He's the quarterback coach of the Carolina Panthers now. When he almost was the coach of the Houston Texans, and I mean the head coach of the Houston Texans. He was almost the head coach.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's amazing, right?
No, it's been a carousel. They've been a carousel about as much as the NBA has. And Aaron Rodgers has been all over the news. I just saw Zeke got released. Ezekiel Elliott. What up, Jeeves?
Saw that coming.
You almost could, but where would he go next is my question. Because I've been trying to put that in my head.
And Mike, before you answer, he's 27, so there's still some serviceable years on him.
Should be.
There's still some serviceable years. However, you have to remember, 1, he is a running back. 2, he has some of the most carries in the NFL over his time. And 3, his best attribute right now, I mean, he still runs the football hard, but the biggest thing the teams value or the Cowboys valued is his pass protection pickups. Okay. And to me, he would fit in more on a team that kind of passes more than they run. There's one particular team that has maybe a feel at running back they could look at him. No, I'm not talking about that team.
No, I'm talking about
the Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
At running back?
Yeah.
Singletary isn't it.
Singletary's a free agent.
What would you say to New England?
No, they just signed James Robinson from they used to be with the Jaguars.
I remember
James Robinson.
Was he?
So, I don't think they're making any more moves.
Would he be as productive if he was to go to a Super Bowl contender? What would you say to him going to the Bucs?
Who?
Zeke.
No. The Bucs aren't going to be Super Bowl contenders next year. They're tearing it down to the studs right now.
Yeah,
they're definitely not going to be Super Bowl contenders.
What about Atlanta? I could run through teams as I think about
Atlanta. Nah, Atlanta's got a bunch of guys on rookie deals. Plus, what they just did is they're paying Cordell Patterson. He's a Swiss Army knife for running backs. Then they got a couple rookies. And then, of course, now that you spoke about New England, New England traded Jonnu Smith to the Atlanta Falcons for a 7th-round pick. So now the Falcons, Jonnu Smith's reunited with his old offensive coordinator, which he had his best years under. And you have 2 versatile tight ends now in Jonnu Smith and our boy from Florida.
Mercedes Lewis.
No. Remember the guy from Florida that people couldn't determine whether he's a wide receiver or a tight end? And the name is escaping me, and I know people are going to kill me for this one. But, yeah.
From the University of Florida?
Yes, the kid from University of Florida that they drafted, Kyle Pitts. Yeah. So they got Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith. Yes. Then you got a 6'5" wide receiver out there too that they drafted from USC. So I can only imagine the nice, wonderful things that Arthur Smith is going to draw up in mismatches, especially with all those mismatches he has. I expect their offense to be good next year.
Let me make sure I make a couple of those games.
So I got a question, and I still want to hold Zeke out there, but is Derrick Henry available?
I believe this. Do I think he's really, really available? No. Do I think if a package was given to the Titans to say, hey, we'll give you this for him? Yeah, they would consider it and make that move.
They better not.
Are they looking to trade him? No.
They better not.
But I will say this, though. They in order for this offense to evolve, it cannot be Derrick Henry and the rest of the offense. It's got to be something different. And then also what you notice is the new GM of the Titans, Rand Carthon, came from 49ers. The 49ers have what? A stable of young, cheaper running backs, except for Christian McCaffrey, of course. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not either this year or next year. Derrick Henry's on another team.
Wow. What about Dalton Schultz? I saw Dalton Schultz got released too, I think. Well, he's unsigned. Unrestricted.
He's unsigned right now. So I think he's either going to go back to Dallas or he's going to sign with a contender. I mean, honestly, a team right now that could probably use him, Cincinnati. Cincinnati could. They lost their starting tight end, Hayden Hurst. So they could probably use him in Cincinnati very much.
I just want to.
Yep. By the way, Hayden Hurst went to Carolina, by the way, too. Yeah, he signed in Carolina.
Went up to a rival team. Because he used to be on the Falcons.
Yeah. He every time he gets a chance to stick it to the Falcons, he's probably going to try.
Oh God, that's why he went to Carolina.
How much tread is on Leonard Fournette's?
Leonard Fournette?
Yeah, on those tires.
I mean, honestly, I think he still got a lot of tread on the tires. I mean,
Brian,
honestly, last year, what's going on, Brian?
Hey, Mike,
last year I'm just hanging in there, man, getting all the NFL news out.
Yes, he
but
is.
As far as Leonard Fournette, I think a team will end up picking him up just because, in the playoffs, I mean, it's playoff Lenny at that point. Right. So you got him, you got to think a team that's inching or looking towards the playoffs may pick him up. Potentially a team to look out for. I know this probably doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people, but I would say the Jets. Look out for the Jets to potentially pick him up.
I would agree with that because of the injuries they had to the two young running backs that they had.
Right.
Got hurt.
Right.
I would agree with that. But Leonard, that would just make 3 leg injury prone running backs. and you know what I'm talking about, because Leonard Fournette got hurt that one year. He wasn't right. Right now, he should be 100% healthy. Both of the Jets running backs that were rookies, stars, both got hurt. Mm-hmm. So can they back each other up? Yeah, sure. But the injuries, if 2 of them go down, then there's 1, and then that one goes down, they're screwed.
Right. Then you have Nathaniel Hackett trying to figure out our offense, and oh boy, he's their offensive coordinator.
So they are building up to be playoff worthy.
Yeah, I'll say this:
it's his request. Y'all better look out.
No, he'll end up being a Jet. That I'm not even worried about that. But the thing is, no. I'll tell you this honestly. He's going to get Lazard. They were going to get Lazard anyway because Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator when they were in Green Bay. Right. So that was going to happen anyway. That's not a Aaron Rodgers request. That's a Jets want to be better request. But I think maybe Corey Davis may potentially be the odd man out, especially if they get more pieces, which I don't like that per se, but it is what it is. Either that or he's going to have to restructure that deal very much so. So
you're going to get rid of Corey Davis. You're already trying to get rid of Elijah Moore.
Now I'll say this. Hold on. If they sign Randall Cobb, then I can say maybe they're going to get rid of Elijah Moore. But honestly, in my opinion, you don't sign Randall Cobb. You keep Elijah Moore, who is a better wide receiver at this point in his career than Randall Cobb is. And then he also wants Mercedes Lewis, by the way, too. That's like a security blanket at 155 years old. But hey, that's who he wants. But and then he also wants OBJ. But honestly, looking at this, give him Lazard, give him Davis, put Elijah Moore out there, bring in Mercedes Lewis. It's not going to cost you a bunch of money. You'll be okay.
Wait, so I got a question. Is Mercedes Lewis like 38 years old?
He's played like 17 seasons.
Okay.
Yes. Got it. He played in Jacksonville. People still think that he's one of their best tight ends ever. Until Evan Ingram had the season he had, Mercedes Lewis was the best tight end in Jaguars history to a lot of people.
Got it.
He really was.
Amazing as it sounds. I mean, honestly, the guy never got more than 5 touchdowns in a year, but he was their best tight end ever. It is what it is. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even talk about the position if he got only 5 touchdowns and 1 year.
He stayed on the field.
Nah.
That was the whole thing. He stayed on the field.
Yeah, he stayed on the field, but he kind of disappeared on it too, which is hard for a 6'8" man to do. But
which conference or which division do you feel is going to be this season's Terror Dome? Which is going to be the gauntlet type division where you're going to be like, okay.
That's a good question. I still can say the NFC East is still going to be pretty tough to go through. I mean, they just added Darren Waller to the New York Giants. I mean, come on. Look at that. And then you bring in you get rid of Kenny Golladay, which I know Giants fans are rejoicing. And you bring back a couple guys too. You bring back Sterling Shepard, who hopefully will be healthy next year. He hadn't been healthy in like 3 years, but hey, hopeful thinking. The Eagles bring back some guys. I mean, offensively, they're still talented. They bring back Slay and Bradbury, which arguably one of the best corner combinations in the NFL to me. I think they're the best combination in the NFL, but hey, some people argue. And then you got Dallas. Dallas is still solid. You got Pollard coming back. You still got that offense. You still got that defense. So, you still have to worry about Dallas being a contender. Oh. And as far as the Redskins, I mean, I can't really say a whole bunch, but they always seem to figure something out.
The Commanders, you cannot sleep on them, bro. Yeah. You can't sleep on them for real.
I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I said the Redskins.
Because we all grew up with them being that other team.
Yeah, we all grew up with that name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Commanders. I'm sorry, the Space Station Commanders. Let me call them correctly. They might mess around in they might. Yeah, I call them the Spaceship Commanders, and Carson Wentz. I called him Commander Wentz last year. Kind of off the the little funny movies back in the day. Because I know he wasn't going to lead them anywhere, and he proved my point.
Wow, he did prove your point. I think it's going to be the NFC East.
I'll say this though. I will say this:
the AFC East is a problem too, though, bro. The AFC East.
The AFC East is definitely. See, you know where I was getting ready to go. The AFC East is
it's a problem.
Definitely.
Oh,
look at the moves though. Jalen Ramsey playing. No, AFC East. Jalen Ramsey's playing for the Miami Dolphins now. Yeah. They get him for like a third round pick. I mean, what kind of pilfery is that?
The part about the AFC East is the Patriots are the weakest team.
That's that fire sale that's going on with the Rams.
Yeah,
the Patriots are the AFC. AFC East, and they were just under 500.
Yeah, I don't trust the Patriots at this point. I mean, I know they have Matthew Judon, who is one of the best sack artists in the NFL, but other than that, I don't find a ton that scares me about their defense. I mean, you have the immortal Lawrence Guy that's still there from the Super Bowl days. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm not saying any bad about him, but he's a solid player, but he just is not a guy that like, okay, cool, I got a game plan for him. He's just not that guy. But we'll see what happens when it comes to them, and we'll see how they make it out. But it just, to me, I do like that division, and I'll say this: I didn't say it, and I got to excuse myself for this. I would say the AFC North is probably going to be the toughest division in the AFC, and not the AFC East, because you've got Baltimore, and I hear what people saying about Lamar Jackson, but I still think he ends up playing in Baltimore next year.
Yes.
You've got Pittsburgh. I think they'll definitely be better. I think that Cincinnati is going to still be Cincinnati, what they've been the last couple of years. And I think Cleveland's not going to be quite as bad as they were last year. I think they'll be better. So I think that division will definitely live up to the black and blue division that has been nicknamed.
Cincinnati's in danger of being typecast.
Nah.
They're not in danger yet.
They got called out. They got embarrassed. I feel bad for them. Glick, what's good?
They're not in danger yet. I'll say this: when they become danger is when our guy T. Higgins is up for a new contract, and if he messes around and demands a trade, then there's danger, because you got to think You're paying Joe Mixon. You got to pay Jamar Chase. You got to
Yes.
pay Joe Burrow. T. Higgins might be the odd man out when it comes to being paid.
Agreed. But Cincinnati's been exposed.
Nah,
I think their future's
they haven't
too-
been exposed.
I don't think their
Nah.
future.
Exposed to what?
Look at how they got beat in the playoffs. They were supposed to be back in that Super Bowl. They were supposed to be back in that Super Bowl.
They've been exposed to success by Joe Burrow. That's what they've been exposed to. Ted.
Okay.
They've been exposed to success from Joe
He's
Burrow.
smoking on that Joe Burrow.
Man. But nah, they'll be fine. I'm not worried about them. The only thing I worry about with them is can their offensive line finally get it together? And then they kind of stole the offensive lineman from well, they didn't steal him, but they signed the offensive lineman from Kansas City. Orlando Brown Jr. is actually their starting left tackle for next year.
Right.
They signed him. He got $31 million guaranteed. The $62 million contract with $31 million guaranteed. And then they to replace him, actually, the Chiefs signed Jawan Taylor, who played for the Jacksonville Jaguars at left tackle last year. So, they placed him and basically said, "Hey, go get your deal, Orlando, but it will not be with us."
As of right now, I think the wildest pick is a Jets-Giants Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now, if you win that, if that happens, I need you to go do the lottery that day.
Yeah.
Mark it and book it. The Giants have been dangerous as much as they're not winning like everybody think they should, but they've been the team that'll give somebody the problems. And they just gave Daniel Jones that big contract. If the Jets if they line up the way Aaron Rodgers is trying to line it up, everybody better get ready.
I'll say this: even if they don't line up the way that he wants it, they're still going to have Lazard and maybe Corey Davis and still Elijah Moore. And then you got the young running backs too.
That's
And
my
you got
point.
that defense that's solid.
That's my point.
Hey,
The Jets are coming.
Hey,
the Jets are going to be there.
Glick, Tony is smoking on that Aaron Rodgers pack.
I'm smoking on that Green Bay Packer coming over there and taking it to the playoffs again.
Hey, Mike, we like I said, we want to be cognizant of your time.
Yeah, I see. Go ahead.
Tell us about touring the AFC South.
I got some more time for you.
Weekly pod.
He said he's good, Ted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's good.
He said he's good.
Oh, okay.
Well,
but still, tell
what I'll
us
say
about the
is,
podcast.
what else? Oh, go ahead. Okay.
Case
Cool.
Keenum,
Well,
baby.
as far as the podcast this month, oh boy, yeah, Houston Texans go wild. All right, but what I will say is about the touring the AFC South. Yeah, I definitely paid attention to that signing, so it's going to be interesting what they do with the quarterback position. But touring the AFC South, definitely we're doing like as many shows a week as possible right now because this is Women's History Month, and for me, I have an affinity and I have a love for Black women. So all my guests on the show this month have been Black women, and I do that purposely and intentional every March. But outside of March, things like that, I do bring Black women in sports on a lot because I want my show to be a safe space for them to talk sports because I don't basically just put it in layman's terms because I don't play that about Black women. Just put it in layman's terms. But as far as my show, we definitely talk about all the teams in the division. I reach out to people that cover the teams or actually write there, with the teams, maybe announcers, maybe people that work for the team, perhaps, as well as people that maybe either played in the division, cover the division, or cover the NFL at large, like maybe a Jim Trotter or a Steve Weish, or maybe a Warren Moon that played for a Houston franchise and then played for, didn't play for them, but, played for a Houston franchise that became the Tennessee Titans. But, that's a little bit of a sore spot for some in Houston, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, definitely do that. And also, Ted, I don't know if you knew, but I do have merchandise now, so I do have shirts that I put together. I got a logo. I got a brand new logo.
We're not worthy.
And I got shirts now that I'm pushing, man. So I'm $25 a piece, man. I do ship to wherever you are. So there you go.
Got it.
You
got it.
Noted.
You got it. Do we want to touch upon the Aaron Rodgers effect?
Sure.
Or
I'll
has
touch
it
on
just been beat up? I mean, McAfee. Well, you know what? Let's put Aaron Rodgers to the side. What McAfee did yesterday.
Got the exclusive.
McAfee averaged yesterday. At one point, he almost touched 500,000 viewers, simultaneous viewers, on his YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
The NHL on ESPN averages 416,000 viewers for their broadcast. I mean, so yes, it's part McAfee, but it also is bringing an exclusive event for Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
What was your take? We'll go around the horn, guys. I mean, we'll lead with Mike. What was your take on yesterday? If you did get to see Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee, and as a follow-up question, do you believe Pat McAfee has the ability to one day topple Joe Rogan as the top viewed or downloaded podcaster?
Well, I'm gonna answer your first question. Your second question first. I say yes. I definitely think he has the ability to do so. I mean, just look at the unorthodox way he does his podcast or his shows. Just look at the charisma he has on his podcast or show, I should say. Anyway. And then also, as far as going to the next question about Aaron Rodgers, I mean, honestly, what I thought about when I saw Aaron on TV, the first song I thought about, "Slipping in the Darkness." I thought about that as soon as I saw him. I was like, "Oh, there he goes." But that's the first thing I thought about when I saw him on the show. But as far as Aaron Rodgers, man, McAfee's a smart man, and he's definitely AJ Hawk is definitely hooking him up because he's bringing him in Aaron Rodgers every week, and I can only imagine what it's going to be like when he's in. Well, we gotta say New Jersey,
New Jersey
for real, but but technically, because the name of the team, it's New York. But
right,
I definitely thought it was an interesting conversation. It's kind of basically what I thought it was going to be. Basically because Aaron Rodgers really doesn't mince a lot of words, and he kind of doesn't keep everything, to the side. He brings it in.
Right.
So I kind of expected what I expected. And the funny part about it is that, some people are taking what he said and saying that, it's in the Green Bay's court and this, that, and the other, like he was mad at Green Bay. And I'm like, nah, he's not mad at Green Bay. He just understands the business. They're trying to get their recoup whatever it is. He's not mad at Green Bay, and I don't think Green Bay is mad at him. They're ready to move on and get Jordan Love out there, which I'm like this. I want Jordan Love to be successful so I can mess around and say, man, they go J Love out there. There you go. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. They mess around, they score. Look, I score, and all I need him to do is this. Just go do the score and do that. That's all I need him to do is walk up to the side. That's all. But, I'm definitely excited to see what he can bring out there because I was high on him coming out of college, but of course, he's been sitting on the bench, and this all kind of goes along with the same story that Aaron Rodgers had, which he didn't play for like the first few years. And then, what would make this all a full circle moment is if once Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, which, he's following in a particular gentleman from Mississippi's footsteps.
Yes.
But as soon as he does it, what if like 15 years later, Jordan Love decides he wants to leave and he goes to the New York Jets? It'll just be a full circle moment for everybody.
2038.
Yeah. It
New
would
York,
be funny.
Yeah.
It'd be funny. And I'd crack up laughing. And then by that point, Aaron Rodgers would have played for the Minnesota Vikings for a couple years at that point.
Yes. Hey, Brian, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. If you can answer the two questions, what do you feel about McAfee? Do you feel he has the ability to overtake Joe Rogan's show? And what was your take on Aaron Rodgers on Pat McAfee?
Thanks for having me on. I know it's been a minute. Just been working mad crazy hours, dude. I'm doing 13-hour days.
We respect you for it.
Yeah.
As far as Pat McAfee, yes, I do agree because the audience that he attracts. I mean, he's got. I mean, it's just like boys hanging out with boys and just having fun, and
Yes.
that's what a lot of people could relate to. So yeah, so it won't be long until that happens. Now, as far as like the Aaron Rodgers effect, I mean, I'm curious. I mean, I like the conversation you guys are doing, so that way I could go tell my coworker that's from New York because he's all about the Giants and the Giants and the Yankees.
Uh-huh.
So I told him, I said, yeah, I got friends of mine. They're all about the Mets and the Jets. He's like, they ain't New Yorkers. That's what he says. So just hearing y'all talk about, I'm like, hang on, I'm gonna write notes so that way I can show them tomorrow. Be like, this is what they said.
Hey, Brian, when you're at work tomorrow, make sure you follow up and say, and they're both from Queens too.
That's right.
Hey, my wife's from Queens.
Yeah, I remember, Mike.
Yeah, she's a Mets fan. She's a Mets fan
right.
since they from Queens.
Yeah, he out for the season already. He ain't even play yet.
Yeah, because it's funny. Yeah. It's funny because every day at work he's always wearing his Yankees cap, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, Mets?" He goes, "Don't ever disrespect me like that again." So.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. To your point.
All right. So Tony D, if you can answer the question and your thoughts on McAfee and your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. And I want to say your tag team partner is in the chat and he's saying, boys having fun, just chilling. Sounds familiar.
Stop drinking.
I think that happens on
Stop drinking.
Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Mondays, right?
Yes.
With the Nonsensical Nonsense podcast.
Yes. He's drinking. That's his problem. On the Pat McAfee thing, I haven't been caught up on it. I haven't really been watching a lot of the news. I'm catching a lot of highlights.
Hey, Tony.
Yes, sir.
And Ted, the homie Sheena Quick. That's the homie right there. She be popping up on this show too.
Oh, okay.
The Carolina Panthers. Yeah, I know Nashina. Nashina is cool people.
This dude is too much. He is the sportscaster.
Yeah, we covered the draft in Nashville together.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah. That was good for you.
Her, and then that's when Teron Davenport was here, and he had just been. I don't know how long he had been here, but he was covering the Titans. But me and him were on the red carpet. Got to talk to Devin White, who was the starting linebacker for Tampa Bay before he got drafted.
Yes.
Got to talk to. I was on the red carpet. Tried to talk to Kyler Murray, but they was like really like rushing him along, man.
I believe it. Try to get him up out of there.
Well, no, man. Sorry to interrupt. I thought about that Pat McAfee show. I was like, hold up, the homie Sheena been on there.
You good?
I will tell you. I'll tell you some more stuff, but Ted, but I don't want to take up Tony's time.
I ain't gonna be long. I'm crunk about Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. I actually said this during the season. I can see him doing that already. The list of people he wants to bring: Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis. I forgot the other thing. OBJ. There was somebody else. But
those. Wait, hang on. If I can find it, it'll take me a minute, but I think I can find it.
It was Alan Lazard, Cobb,
Lewis,
Mercedes Lewis. It's probably Lazard. Yeah, it's probably Lazard. What I was thinking about.
Yeah,
Aaron's trying to build the team. If he takes those boys over, if they come with him, and the Jets can work all of that out, they're going to be a monster. I'm all for it. He just left the gym this time of night. This dude, this dude. Oh my goodness! But I'm actually pretty enthusiastic about it. I think the Jets, they had a good season last season. A couple of hiccups.
Didn't have enough to finish, man.
Didn't
have enough to finish.
They need to finish stronger, but they had a better season than they had previously.
Zach couldn't get saved by the bell.
Let me tell you, after that game I went to, the Jets and Bills at home, and they won 20-17.
Yes.
It was downhill from there. That was their Super Bowl.
They did the first half of the season very well. I agree. So you get some extra players, give you some duration. I think they'll be viable. Honestly, I do.
Okay.
Let's be real. They was terrible past 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Charles Barkley said, terrible. Terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah, Mike, what you had there?
Do we quickly want to talk? Mike, you want to finish up with anything NFL related?
Oh, sure. I was going to talk about Brother from Another, man. I was looking at Brother from Another the other day. And the crazy part is I'm looking at some of these people that are on there. I'm like, hey, I had her on my show. Hey, I had her on my show. I was sitting there just finding myself just saying, hey, I had her on my show. I had her on my show.
We saw you on Brother from Another.
Yeah. And I had Nashina Quick on my show. Kelsey Nicole Nelson's been on my show. I don't know if you know who that is, Tony, or Ted, but Ted knows who that is. But Tony, I don't know if you know who that is. Brian, I'm not sure if you know who that is either. But
No.
Let's see. I've had Nat that's on the show, Brother from Another. Yes, I've had her on my show before. She kind of explained how she became a Warriors fan on my show.
Oh,
so I kind of I let her break all that down.
I think I remember Ashley Nicole from the Nick podcast with CP the franchise.
I haven't had her. I have not had her yet on my show.
Yeah,
no,
I remember.
That's one I could probably connect. Now I will say this, Tony. Now it got delayed, but hopefully next week I'll have Danielle Smith on my show. Think about it, music wise. She is a one heck of a writer when it comes to music. She was with Vibe, Billboard. She was the editor-in-chief at Vibe at one point.
I think that's where I remember that name from.
Yeah, from the Bay Area, man.
Okay.
So I'm supposed to have her on tonight, but we kind of rescheduled. But I got her. I've got let's see. I don't know if you know who Ty Floyd is. She covers HBCUs for Anscape and does like reporting at CIAA games, stuff like that.
Okay.
I haven't called a lot of HBCU guys though, but you doing big things.
I got a few people coming on, man. I'm working on a few things, and then next month I got next month I'm gonna be in Atlanta, by the way, at the Black Sports Business Symposium.
The Expo.
Yeah, and then Rich Paul is supposed to be speaking the first night. The first day, I'm sorry.
Tell us about the symposium.
Well, I will say this. I went to the first one last year, and it was incredible. Actually, by the way, I know you know who this name is. Ben Troop found me from seeing me at the Black Sports Business. He found me on social media. Like, literally, I looked up one day, and he followed me. I was like, is this really Ben Troop? The real Ben Troop? So I followed him back, and he ended up popping up on my show, and he literally told me, man, I kept seeing you on the board or on the videos and stuff like that, talking to people. I was like, man, I didn't know that guy. I was like, well, dang, okay.
But they know you. They know you.
Yeah. And like, and like what it is basically you have different classes and different things. Like you have Amazon was there last year and ESPN, of course. Yeah, I got to meet Aaliyah Boston. I got to meet Renee Montgomery. Got to meet Renee Montgomery. Didn't get to meet there's a few other people that were there too. I just it's a lot of names. Steve Weish, of course, he's one of the founders of this. And literally walked up to Steve Weish, shook his hand, and because he had just been on my show like a few days before the Black Sports Business Symposium. So I shook his hand, talked to him, whatever. And my boys was there. Danny was there. He'll tell you.
Yeah, Danny
was
there.
I'm sitting there talking to and I'm shaking my hand, talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, I need to watch out for this dude. This dude here, man." I'm like, "Is he talking about me? Is he pointing? Who is he pointing at?" I was like, "Hold up, man.
Good. They about to get you."
I was like, "Lord." Yeah, but it was like a who's who of anybody. And if you definitely had to try hard if you did not meet anybody that's in the business to talk to or get information from or anything. And like the people that are there are very, very accessible in terms of they'll come off the stage and people will come over and talk to them and literally normal everyday people sitting there talking to them. So I'm so looking forward to that. So looking forward to the fellowship and so looking forward to talking to some of the younger people and kind of tell them, hey, your journey starts now. Don't talk about waiting on this, waiting on that, waiting on the other. No. Go ahead and get started now. If you don't wait on the job, you go build your resume while the job's waiting on you to get there. or them waiting on you to find you. You build that resume to go help them find you. So, I kind of explained to a couple of them, and like watching them grow since that moment has been very, very satisfying. Like, for example, one young woman, she wasn't very sure what she wanted to do. Or how I don't know if she wasn't sure what she wanted to do, but I don't know if she kind of had the confidence to do it. Like me and I think Ray, I'm talking about Ray Lynn. We actually talked to her and was like, hey, just go do it, do this. And we were kind of telling her she could do this. Now I look up at her, she's doing photography, and she was doing photography at the SEC tournament, had some of her pictures actually used by ESPN and everything.
You said Ray Lynn?
Ray Lynn. I don't know if you know who Ray Lynn is, but
light-skinned female?
No. It's a guy.
Okay. There was a woman I knew from college that had that name. I'm about to say, let me find out you know her and she's doing big. I'm gonna be like, yes, she finally made it. Yes, she finally made it. Yeah.
But that's and she had her pictures used by ESPN and everything. So she's doing that, interviewing people, writing. She had actually interviewed Donovan McNabb since that time at his camp, and I was like, see, you always had it in you. You just didn't. You just gotta let it go. Let it go. Let it roll. And I put her with a couple of people I know in the business that were trying to still, kind of get there too. So I connected her with a few other people as well, so that way they could kind of give her guidance or stuff like that too.
Networking. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, I always try to connect somebody with somebody. Of course, man. I mean, if I can do that, definitely. Because it ain't about me making it and not helping anyone. For me, it's about let me help people try to get to where they want to go, and I let the universe figure the rest out, and I do what I'm supposed to do.
Exactly.
It ain't no fun if you can't help nobody make it too.
That's true.
You can't have none.
Have you guys been watching the WBC?
No.
Nope.
I'm sorry, I have not been watching. I did see that injury though.
Everyone saw that injury. Everyone saw that
happened?
injury, and
What injury?
Hurts.
if you are an owner and you
Mets
see
pitcher
something like
got
that,
injured.
From the celebration?
Yep.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz.
Oh, okay. What happened on that? I just barely saw that on Bleacher Report.
A tendon injury. He's out for the year. Knee tendon injury. He's out for the year. Yeah.
He's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dang.
So here's someone who just signed a 5-year, $120 million deal.
Can't even play.
Mm-hmm.
Fully guaranteed. Playing in this tournament in March. Spring training. The season opening day is about to hit in 2 weeks, and he's done for the year.
Mm-mm.
I don't know. I think that's something that we're definitely going to hear about. And you know what? The owners aren't wrong.
We're gonna go back to AAA folks, man.
Joe,
AAA folks showing up out there.
Yeah.
Joe
B is in the building.
Gentlemen, what's happening? What's going on?
What's going on?
Mr. B. He said he's in London.
Listen.
Something's going on in London. We'll talk about it.
I gotta go there. I gotta go there one day.
It's nice. Just have wear your best comfortable shoes because there's going to be a lot of walking, a lot of fast walking.
I'm cool with that, man.
I hear that a lot. Yeah.
Give me a nice scooter.
That's my
or bus.
That's my only knock on London is that everybody walks fast. It's like, slow down. Look, you live in
that's how New York used to be.
Yeah.
I love visiting New York, man.
Well, that's how they said how London is laid out. New York is just a replica of London. So if I can survive London, I can survive New York.
Hey, Mike, I'm going to be in Nashville in July.
All right, cool. July. I don't got anything really on the calendar, so yeah.
I'll get you the dates as soon as I get them. But I'm guessing July and late July, 3rd or 4th.
Late July.
Toby.
Girl named Toby, how you doing? Question for Mr. B.
Hello, sir.
How is there going to be, or how could they consider sports betting or gambling on WWE scripted matches?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We talked about it. We talked about it on Twitter, and we've kind of laughed. If you ever watch DraftKings, if you go on DraftKings, you see it. It pops up there from time to time. It is kind of crazy, but you can actually bet. They have free bets where you could bet on it. But it's kind of insane, the fact that you have WWE employees, right? Whether it's the wrestlers or the background people, you know what I mean?
Right.
Any one of those people could go and bet. You know what I mean? Like, you know what it is. It's scripted. You could be in a match and bet and pretty much win the money. So that's an ugly scenario in itself, man. That's an ugly scenario in itself.
So, Mr. B, how? I mean, and we know you're not an employee of WWE or AEW, so we're gonna just throw out this question. How small is the circle that knows the results of a scripted match?
That's a good question. The circle, depending on the match, depending on the person, and depending on the match, I think it comes down to. No, for some reason I'm not showing up.
Yeah, we lost Mike. Where Mike go?
Yeah, Mike.
It says device not connected. So I think
boy.
he lost internet connection.
But yeah, so I don't know. But yo,
There he is.
okay, he comes back. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's like the circle is not that small, but not necessarily that big of a circle either, if that kind of makes sense. Where certain people know, depending on how important the match is, because we've had some times where the matches magically change last minute, whether it's like 5 minutes in the match or, you know what I mean? Like, it could be as long as some weeks, it could be some days, it could be the night of, you know, where the matches change. So it's like, oh crap. So you have that type of situation. But the circles, even there'd be times where people have matches and they don't tell nobody, but the matches, the circle could probably be really small or moderate, somewhat moderate. If it's like a regular match, but not one of those big time matches. If it's a big time match, that circle's really small. But if it's a regular match, you know what I mean? But on the pay-per-view, not like a big title, then it'll be a moderate circle. It'll be a moderate circle. Which kind of gets you scared, though, if you're trying to put betting out there. Freaking everybody get ate up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Mr. B, what's your thoughts this weekend on UFC 286? What do we need to look for?
Whew. Man, you asking me? That's crazy. So, we're at the O2 Arena in England, London, England. Been a long time since they've been out there. The O2 Arena is one of the big arenas out there. Dope. We got a rematch, a trilogy fight, if you will, between the champion Leon Edwards and the number one contender now, Kamaru Usman. This is the third fight. The second fight being last year in August, and where we seen Kamaru Usman only need 1 minute left. Only needed that last minute to maintain his championship status, only to get knocked out by a Leon Edwards head kick. Leon's coming in really prepared. Now, we know Kamaru Usman, for people who don't know, big-time wrestler out of Nebraska, was born in Nigeria. Family came through to Nebraska, became a big-time wrestler in Nebraska. Leon Edwards, born in Jamaica, family moved for a better life in the UK. Both of these guys had similar roads, and they intersected first time in 2015, where Usman won by unanimous decision. Leon Edwards improved quite a bit in the second fight, but as I said, close fight. Leon got the win, though, but the head kick. And Third fight here, man. So Leon Edwards, big time kickboxer out the UK scene, improved a lot in his wrestling, which was kind of his weakness. Ever since he lost that first time with Kamaru Usman, the guy's been on a crazy streak. Now, if I remember correctly, I think it's about a 10-fight win streak right now, with him knocking out Usman. Trials and tribulations is pretty much what this guy was about in his life, because he was on a crazy win streak. They didn't want to give him the title because they kind of found out he was kind of boring somewhat. But he had a really good style. He has a really good fight style. Really smart IQ, strike-wise. Beating Nate Diaz up. Some people kind of criticized him. He beat Nate Diaz. He beat Bilal Muhammad. He fought out. He didn't want to travel because of the COVID when the pandemic happened in 2020, because they offered him a title fight. He said, nah, he didn't want to do it. He'd rather stay home. A lot of people criticized him for it. He lost out his title opportunity there. Made up for it in 2022, won the title. Kamaru Usman being a champion, forever improving his striking because his wrestling is pretty damn solid. Loses, comes back now with a revenge. We got this fight going. Big time talk going on. The pre-fight presser was kind of cringy, but I'm looking forward to this fight because it's going to be what has Kamaru Usman improved on, especially with the fact that Kamaru is about 36 now. Kind of getting up in age. Leon Edwards is 31. Age going to kind of prove a factor. Also, Kamaru Usman has bad knees because he was wrestling a lot. He has over 200 wrestling matches when he was in college and shit. You know what I mean? So, has a lot of knee damage. And you're wrestling in the UFC is a lot of damage as you build. You're taking those shots. You drop to your knees on the mat. You got to keep putting your legs to work. It's going to happen.
Yes.
So we got to see. This might be Kamaru Usman's possible last opportunity at winning the welterweight title. He's thought about possibly moving up, but we don't know. But there's a lot of pressure on him. More pressure on Leon because he's in front of his hometown. But that's your main event. Co-main event, slobber knocker. We got the freaking number 3 guy, Justin Gaethje. Now, Justin Gaethje is a monster. If you don't know Justin Gaethje, God bless. When you do look him up, this dude is in no boring fights. When he was in the WSOF, back when NBC was into the MMA game, he was out there. He was their champion. He was slaying people left and right. Just people. His enemies were dragons. He was the dragon slayer. He was just knocking fools out in wars. No boring fights. The way he fights, you'll actually be surprised. This man has horrible vision. But he a couple fights ago, he got his eyes cleared up, and he's been swinging crazy ever since, man. Multiple fight of the night honors, performance of the nights, former interim champion, 2-time title challenger when he fought Khabib, as well as when he fought Charles Oliveira. As I said, he's beating up a list of who's who. He's coming in here. He got to fight very tactically, but also he has to bring a little bit of that slug style against a guy by the name of Rafael Fiziev, who's 12-1. Currently riding a 6-fight win streak. A nasty kickboxer. 30 years old, man. Representing Kyrgyzstan, but trained out of Phuket, Thailand, with Tiger Muay Thai. Tiger Muay Thai, one of the big-time big-time Muay Thai schools in Thailand. A lot of people, whether in the kickboxing realm, MMA realm, karate combat, people train out there. It's a whole different atmosphere. That's where the real, you really learn if you're really about that life or not. Yeah, Atman's been out there and he's been, hurting people. Dude comes straight out the Matrix for real. His footwork is pretty solid. He gets a read on people early, often. Nasty kicks, killer punches, ill combinations. He's willing to have a war with you if it's necessary, but he handles things on a savage technical aspect. This fight right here, I don't predict it going 3 rounds. God bless both of them because they're not going to come out this fight the same. We also have on this card the returning Gunnar Nelson out of Iceland, but represents SBG Ireland, the team that Conor McGregor's from and all his buddies. He's fighting a guy by the name of Brian Barberina. Brian Barberina currently riding a pretty lengthy streak himself. Currently took out the former welterweight champion, the former welterweight champion Robbie Lawler, where he outpaced him, beat him up. But after that, he had a hiccup. He fought RDA, former lightweight champ Rafael dos Anjos. There you go. And Anjos managed to beat him up, wrestle him. Kind of weaknesses in wrestling, but he's a war horse. He could take a lot of damage. We'll see how he does against the technical aspect, the jiu-jitsu aspect, because Gunnar, he fights with a karate style, so it's kind of a wide leg stance, a wide stance, those like straight punches, straight jabs, a lot of karate techniques. But his jiu-jitsu is pretty damn solid. So we'll see how that holds up. We also got the number 8 Jennifer Maia, former Invicta flyweight champion, versus the number 12 Casey O'Neill. Casey O'Neill, if I remember, comes out of she was born in Scotland but lives in Australia.
Shout out to Scotland.
Yeah. So she's undefeated. She's coming from surgery. She had a bad knee injury. So she's coming out of there fighting this girl, Jennifer Maia. Hell of a test for her. She comes out of Extreme Couture, Randy Couture's gym.
Right.
So she strikes, but she has slow striking, but her bread and butter is her wrestling. Good top position. A lot of ground and pound strikes that come from there. She's a savage when she gets on top of you. Where Jennifer Maia comes out of Shooter Box, branch out of Shooter Box Academy, where guys like Anderson Silva, Vanderlei Silva, the Rua brothers, where those guys come out from. And if you know those guys, all those guys were monsters back in the day. They take shots to throw shots, just monsters, bro. So Jennifer Maia comes in there with a little bit of that, a little bit of jiu-jitsu mix. We'll see how she holds up there. Casey being a younger fighter, but coming off of surgery, as I mentioned. We'll see how she holds up. I'm kind of nervous about those legs, but it is what it is. And that main card kicks off with number 4, former middleweight title challenger Marvin Vettori against number 9 Roman Dolidze. Roman Dolidze is another guy who comes out of Extreme Couture, represents the district of Georgia, not the U.S. Georgia, but European Georgia.
Oh, European or the USSR?
You can say USSR. Yeah.
Right on this. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, Georgia. A guy who has good jiu-jitsu, kind of iffy wrestling. There's no real strategy to this dude. He has crazy, insane KO power. He could KO you from damn near anywhere. You just don't expect how it's going to happen, but you know it could happen. Marvin Vettori, he challenged Israel Adesanya before. He's an a-hole. He's out of Italy. He's an a-hole, but he's a tough SOB, though. This man is willing to take damage. He always comes in with a solid game plan. Really good cardio. Just outworks and outpaces his opponents. He's taken a couple skids, though, losing to Adesanya. He did beat Paulo Costa, but he lost to Robert Whittaker his last fight out. But, good card. Also, we got a couple names to mention. Jack Shore jumps to featherweight to fight Marco Americani. Chris Duncan from the Contender Series fights Omar Morales. Omar Morales is also another person who came out of the Contender Series. That's the Dana White Contender Series. If you're interested, you can watch those and see how these guys fare up. Duncan's a savage. He got his contract last season after losing the season before. We got a couple guys from Cage Warriors. Sam Patterson from Cage Warriors is going to show up on this card. Muhammad Makayev, the Russian that fights in part of the UK. He was from Russia, migrated to the UK, won medals in wrestling for the UK. He's going up against a dude out of Brazil by the Jafel Filo. Lerone Murphy makes his return after over a year. Another dude by the name of Christian Leroy Duncan will be making his debut from Cage Warriors. Nasty kickboxer. So we'll see how he holds up against Duško Todorovic out of Serbia. Jake Hadley, who's a really good jiu-jitsu dude. He fights Malcolm Gordon, who's out of Canada, who's pretty good in his wrestling and jiu-jitsu himself. Joanne Wood is looking to have her possible final MMA fight. There you go. Here against Luana Carolina. Jai Herbert fights Ludovic Klein. That's another banger for sure. And then Juliana Miller, who won the tough flyweight division, the flyweight tournament of last year's tough. She's fighting Veronica Macedo. Veronica Macedo, former talent. She left. She got re-signed by the UFC. And we'll see how that works, man. But that's the whole card, pretty much, for Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman, UFC 286. Yes, sir.
You're on mute, Ted. I should have muted my mic.
Steve, thank you very much. Is there any way that 286 can top 285?
You see, the whole thing that was carrying 285 was that John Jones was returning. That's the thing. That was the thing that carried the whole show itself pretty much, was John Jones returning. It was a big deal. The O2, this event being at the O2 Arena, how the crowd is going to be and all these fighters on this card, man, yo, I don't know if you know, but the way a UK crowd is like no other, man. There's very few crowds that represent the way the UK crowd represents, man. That thing is going to sound insane. They're going to have the O2 sounding like Cowboy Stadium. I'll tell you like that. It's insane. It's like that. It's like that the way the UK crowd is. When their fighters out there, they are going bonkers, man. So I think this fight will outdo the 285. I think this card will probably outdo it, 285.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be unlike 285, as in the main card won't be at 1 o'clock in the morning because we're going to be on UK time.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good.
So will this event actually start our time like around 12 noon? Or maybe before?
Nah, if I remember correctly, this is going to be on almost like regular time for us. Right? Yeah. This is actually no. Yeah, this is at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Yes. This will be at 1 p.m.
Okay, so
It'll be a little earlier than everything else, yeah.
Undercards are going to be around 1. So
undercards will be around 1.
1
so
p.m.
it'll be 1. So then the main card will probably be around 3.
Right.
No, the other prelims will be around 3, which means the main card will be around 5 or 6. Yeah.
5 or 6. Okay, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you. So a question we wanted to put out to everyone is, which app do Americans most want to delete from their phones? We can go round robin. What's your specific app that you would prefer to delete from your phone?
That I would want to delete?
Yes. That you most want to delete?
I think most people are going to say location services because they don't want to be tracked.
Yeah.
That's not an app.
It's not an app. That's a service.
I can't answer this.
All right. We'll come back to you. Mr. B, which app would you most want to delete?
On my phone?
On your phone.
I can't answer that. Because if you want to delete it, just delete the damn thing.
Yeah, I don't know what app I would delete off my phone, really.
Okay.
I have to really think about that.
Exactly.
Brian, you have a take on this, or you want to pass?
Currently on my phone, I like my Reddit, but I think I'll do away with the Snapchat because I'm hardly ever using it. But there are some people.
That's not true. You're a liar.
Well, as of lately, but truthfully though, I mean, I would delete Snapchat. However, though, I do have some people who I've met that have traveled. So I got people like across the world that I talk to.
Okay.
I still keep tabs with, but other than that, I mean, all the other three, I'm like 4 years sober of them.
Okay.
So you just stuck on social media. You got to look at apps that you don't use that you would not want on your phone outside of social media. You can always upload social media. What comes automatic with the phone that you would delete? I think is a better question.
Ooh, I got plenty for you there.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, like I downloaded like the iOS 16, and I got like fitness, freeform. I'm like, what do I don't use that.
I was looking at that game, and I'm like, oh, it's freeform. I forgot.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this?
Mike, what's your take on this?
All right, I'm looking through my phone now. I don't use. But Google TV, I have no use for that. Let's see, what's another one? Let's see. We got a lot of Google apps that I don't use. Game Launcher. I have no idea why it's on my phone.
Okay.
Samsung Global Goals. What I don't know what that's for. I've got a Android, by the way.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm not an iPhone. No, I love mine, so you ain't gotta be sorry for me. As far as Samsung Wallet, I don't use that.
Really?
No, I don't really use it. Let's see.
Really?
T-Mobile TV. Why?
Yeah,
I'm telling you what service I got. Yeah.
You probably got free cable and don't even know it on that phone.
Man, I got YouTube TV here, so I'm good.
Because when I used to have that LG View, I had like free cable channels up there. It was phenomenal.
I've got a tips. You know how you mess around, you have questions about your phone, and and you just try to figure it out online instead of actually using the tips little app that they got on your phone. Yeah, so I'd like to get rid of the tips app on my phone because I never use it. I always look it up on Google. I never use the tips app. I don't think about a tips app.
Well, they give you updates because Apple has it too.
I will also say that if Twitter keeps going the way it's going, it's going to make me want to get rid of it too, even though I have to have it for business.
I think you need to keep it
because they messed around now talking about the 2-part verification. You can't have that unless you're buying Twitter Blue.
Yeah,
dude, I'm not gonna buy no Twitter Blue for that.
Yep.
No,
that's crazy. Yeah,
I didn't see that.
Hey, I did want to show y'all something though. By the way,
okay.
These are what my shirts look like.
Wait, hang on 1 second. Let me spotlight you.
All right, cool. You can see it.
So in the AFC South, I see you.
Oh, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah, and we got the buses with the different teams.
Yeah, the Texas bus looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. Congratulations on that, dog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think I've sold like I don't know. I sold a few. Sent one to I've sent one to Arizona. Sent one to Washington area. Gonna be sending one to New York. Gonna be sending one to Jacksonville. So yeah, the funny part is only one of these areas is actually an AFC South area.
Put the link in. Can you put the link in the chat?
I don't have a link yet. I am the supplier. That is me. So
okay,
you let me know what you want. Hit me up. Place you want to hit me up. I get the shirt made. I'm actually the one that actually goes to the actual FedEx box and makes it happen. That's me. So I'm doing it old school wise right now, but we'll see how long that lasts before I have to turn those duties over to somebody else.
Got it. I just want to quickly go back and say Instagram is the app that most Americans want to delete.
I got a question.
I like
security. Okay.
What's stopping them?
Security website.
For real.
Say it again.
What's stopping them from deleting it?
Right.
No. It's the app most Americans want to delete.
We heard you.
It was a survey.
Yeah.
It was a survey, and it was from the security website VPN Overview, and they basically analyzed the internet for various search trends and everything like that. But it found more than 900 searches over the recent 6-month period on how to delete or deactivate their Instagram, which is the highest search volume of any app. So that's how we came up with this blog post. Of course, some other options are Facebook, as usual. Then the Brian TX sponsored Snapchat. And then
I got Snapchat too, and I'm definitely on the same page he's on. I'm like, dude. Like,
and then
I
Twitter.
barely use it.
Of course, the one app that no one wants to delete, that everyone's in love with, is
TikTok.
the China-inspired TikTok app.
That's crazy.
I got TikTok.
I do too.
Okay.
I be on there posting my clips from my show on there.
Oh.
TikTok is the most downloadable app globally and in the US. Period.
It's funny. It's some funny stuff on there.
Touring the AFC South, right, Mike?
Nah, I don't know if it. Honestly, I don't even remember what it is. Let me go look.
While Mike looks, we're going to get
MP.
ready to wrap this thing up slowly. But Brian, wanted your take on Silicon Valley banks, the banks being shut down.
Ooh, I got something for you there.
Yeah, that's
Biden getting involved.
Yeah.
Banks only being insured by FDIC for $250,000.
I got something for you there, Ted.
All right.
You know my background, so I got something for you there.
Oh, that's great. We're gonna let Brian lead, and then you will hit cleanup on it. Okay. Brian, what's your take?
I was kind of blown away. I don't know all the full details, but just that.
Oh, I do.
I mean, just like how because I see it like on my Reddit, I see it on my YouTube, and I'm just going like how on the politics spectrum, like they're freaking out, like oh my god. So it's like almost kind of like that. Was it that FTX thing that? Yeah. So makes you scratch your head and wonder what's going on here. That's about all I got. That's all I have. I don't know. I don't have all the details. So Mike, take it away.
All right, here we go. Now, as far as everything, Ted, you did mention 250,000 FDIC. Now, here's the thing you don't mention. You didn't mention about FDIC. You got to also remember that say you have like a fiduciary or it's a business and you got like 3 or 4 signers on there.
Mm-hmm.
That means that those 3 or 4 signers are 250 apiece, 250K apiece. So it doesn't mean that 250 per account.
Okay.
As far as yeah,
per entity.
Yeah, per person that's on the account. So if it's like 4 owners of the account, then it's like 250 apiece.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
That's
supposed to be per account.
A lot of people don't study that part of it, but of course, I have to study that, so I have to know it.
Well, excuse me.
As far as the bank, apparently they were a bank for basically startups and people that were trying to get started in business,
right?
And they leaned heavily on that. That was their specialty. But the thing is, to me, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. It's not me talking like an expert, but you got to have some bread and butter companies and not just all startups. Because if you're depending on all startups, mostly startups for your business, then unfortunately, this could potentially happen, especially where we are in terms of economically.
And they tanked. That's what happened. So they tanked.
So that's what happened. And also, I believe they were involved in. It's out there already to read anyway. Investing in like crypto and stuff like that. So they had some kind of crypto they were doing too. And I'm like, you got two things you really probably shouldn't be heavily doing, but you
high risk. It was high risk business, from my understanding.
Yeah,
they caught up.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yep. And then of course, you heard about Signature too. There was one bank in New York too.
I know Signature, but I didn't hear about them.
Yeah. Signature got took over, I believe too. Either they were close to getting it and had a new CEO hired. But yeah, they were close to it too. But the thing that it comes down to me is, when your risk assessment people gotta see things coming. They apparently, I guess, were in deep and started taking more risk instead of actually figuring out how we gonna stable this thing out. Because with any bank, you got lending and you got deposits. Those have got to be more even. You can't have heavy lending and no deposits, or heavy deposits and no lending, or you're not going to be a sustainable bank. So in this aspect, I think it was more heavy lending and no deposits in there.
Not enough deposits.
That's why. Because you got to have deposits. You can't just have lending and depend on lending to keep you carried for the entire time. You can't do it.
Agreed. I never heard of the bank before it tanked. I actually had a conversation with
I've heard of it just because I know people that have done startups and everything, and they know and they see this bank pretty much. They see this bank pretty much at every convention they go to, trying to get people to come bank with them.
Wow,
got it.
But the good thing is that FDIC is trying to work it out to where these people will all get their money, because the thing is, if these people don't get there, but you don't know what timetable it's going to be either. But the thing is, if these people don't get their money, it's going to be worse than them getting a percentage of the FDIC. Because it'll be even worse and create like a domino effect of other stuff.
Yes, that's what they're afraid of.
Yeah. So a lot of times I don't talk about the financial stuff, but I do kind of have pretty good grasp on it.
This is definitely a hot topic.
Ted knows the experience I have in talking about money. So
we need to have you around more often for the money talk.
Word.
I could talk it more. It's not necessarily something I love talking about, but hey, I definitely got a lot of good insight. And of course, with the equity lines of credit and people trying to do that, and why they getting this and why people getting denied for this. Yeah, I could probably break that down backwards and forwards, because I see those numbers and break down those numbers a good bit.
Good.
That's a good look. I won't get into, due to it being time consuming, Diamond Sports, that bankruptcy, which Diamond Sports, which falls under Sinclair. Basically, those regional sports networks are toxic. We'll just look at it this way: the Pittsburgh Pirates, who have a payroll of $60 million, receive $60 billion in revenue yearly from their regional sports network, from their deal. This year, the $60 million that they receive in revenue won't be coming. So here's a small market team that has, year over year, decade over decade, that's had a small payroll, and that they look forward to these type of payments for licensing and everything else like that. They won't receive those payments. So it's at the point of Diamond Sports has filed bankruptcy. It doesn't, like, these type of deals, regional sports networks don't impact the larger teams, like the teams in New York and Chicago and Los Angeles. But when you look at, like cities like Tampa and Pittsburgh, and you'd even say like a place
Minnesota.
like Denver,
Milwaukee.
Yeah. So
unfortunately, they can't hold a concert to bail them out. Even
Nope.
though, they do have a lot of talented artists that have ever came out of Minnesota, like Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
And what makes it so crazy is you look at this specific entity is controlling telecasts for 47 teams spread across MLB, NHL, and NBA. So there's a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. I'm sure everything's going to work out. NBA lucks out. NHL lucks out because their seasons are over, and then playoffs go to linear TV. It's going to be interesting with MLB this season because there's currently right now, let's just say if you're late on a payment, there's like a grace period right now. And that's the period we're currently in. So messy situation with regional sports networks. If for most of these teams, they're hopefully going direct to consumer. It's like I said, it's rather, we're gonna see how this one plays out. Last topic, Brian, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Brian,
what's up?
Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you think Brian wants to talk about his bae? Jen Psaki.
Who?
Jen Psaki.
I think he does. Yeah, I think he wants to talk about me real quick.
Come on, Brian.
She has her new MSNBC show starting on Sunday at 12 noon Eastern time. Brian's really interested in the show. The only thing I will say I like about the show is, it's an hour format. It's going to be left-leaning, but it's spread across cable, social media, their website, and their streaming channel. So it's one show, but it's spread across multiple formats.
Right.
Brian,
I'll just watch it on mute. I could care less for that. I could care less for like left politics, but I find like truth be told, yeah, I find Jen Psaki attractive. Okay, I do.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
He's got a poster of her, and he just don't want.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mike, no, shh, not out loud, man, not out loud. It's almost it's almost like the same pose as Bo Derek's poster.
Easy.
Oh my God.
I'm guessing it's a perfect 10 too, right?
There you go.
We'll circle back to that.
Yeah, I think that's about it. We'll go round robin. Since Mike is our featured guest, Mike, ways to find you on the interweb, ways to follow your live streaming show and pod, and find you on just social media. Tell us about it.
Well, you can find the podcast Touring the AFC South on. Of course, you can find the live show, which of course includes it's the entire show. You can find it on YouTube. You can also find it, podcast-wise on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, wherever you like to listen. Of course, on Twitter, you can find me at MikePatton82. That's MikePatton 82. And, of course, Twitter. I just said Twitter. IG, _general_MP. I'm over trying to think about all the things I do, man. It's hard.
I can show you. I'll show you later. I'll show you how to do it later.
Yeah, I know. I probably need to get me like a little link tree to just put all this stuff into something. But
yeah, I got that advice.
I guess I refuse to do so. But But yeah. Oh, and I'm actually getting ready to cover a Air Max Day party because 326 is like the Air Max Day, like I guess whatever, and they're having an Air Max Day party in Nashville. So I got credentials to cover that.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
Brian, best ways to follow you on Snapchat?
Snapchat at Thailander_F150.
All right.
I am a Ford guy.
You changed it. You changed your name.
You got Miss Psaki following you? Is that her name? Is that her name? I can't. I just butchered
Jen
the name.
Psaki. P-S-A-I-A-K-I-E.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry if I butchered the name, but yeah, she's probably following you. Y'all trading Snapchats.
Brian's favorite.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Oh Lord.
Mr. B, where can we find you, my friend?
You know the deal, man. Catch me on Twitter. New Year, same B at Mr. B 1986, man. See my tweets, catch my retweets. Following up on all combat sports. Recently, I've been talking a couple movies here and there. I'm on OK Live on the weekends or whenever there's fights around, where we stream and watch fights. Catch my commentary, my explanations of some of these fights. We did one last weekend because your boy Dana White, he did the Power Slap finale. So you gotta check that out. That was a good laugh. But yeah, man, catch me on the weekends. My fights are around. I'm always around if you need to catch them, but you don't want to spend your money. Come over, man, and we watch them for free, man. There you go.
Got it.
Oh yeah. Fridays, tomorrow and every other Friday. Me and Mike, Cope's Corner, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. We talk about the fights of last week, the fights of this week, and we give you our betting tips and predictions. That's it. There you go.
Got it. The man of the hour, Tony D.
Man,
where can we find you?
I was not the man of the hour tonight. Big ups to having Mike up here. We've been dying to have this dude up here broadcasting with us.
Man.
Yeah.
Glad he put time in his calendar to come hang out with us.
Stop
it. Broadcasting world.
Stop.
Big ups to Mike Patton for real, touring the AFC side. Y'all please follow this dude. When we was doing sports and talking about even thinking about broadcasting sports, he was already on top of the game. He is the sports leader amongst all of us. He actually knows more things than JoJo can pronounce. I'm going to give him that straight up. Because JoJo, being the super syllable sportscaster that he is, I still got to sit back and take a minute when he starts broadcasting. But for me, I got a link tree y'all already know, Tony D. Original. But if you get all those different addresses, like Mike said, Mike, let me show you how to do this real quick. You can find me on TikTok, TONYTON19723. You can find me on Instagram and Twitch, TONYTON72. You can find me on Twitter. You see it at the bottom, TONYTON163. I am on LinkedIn. Don't worry about it. I am on Snapchat. Don't worry about it. I am on Facebook. Don't worry about it. I am on Heckle. Don't worry about it. I am on Tango. Don't worry about it. I've been on Marco Polo. I've been on WhatsApp. Don't ask me for my Telegram number. No. Don't ask me for my WhatsApp number. No. Follow what I told you. Stay with someone on Linktree. I got a Cash App, a PayPal, and a Venmo. You want to know where I'm at on social media, but ain't none of y'all sending no money. I'm here all day. Appreciate you, bro. Find me on Late Night Parents. My man Ted Hicks, like we are right now. If you want to find me here first. Ways to follow the show. LateNightParents.com. Sunday Night Smoke Podcast. My man Ace World. Sunday night 7:30-ish. We got to see when he's going to come up there. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he doesn't. We're having good broadcasts. Find me on the Nonsensical Nonsense Podcast with Glick and Jeff Hawk. He was in the chat, trying to throw down how much fun he has with the fellas like we do up here because he thinks he's the champ, but I am. So we'll just go with it like that. I also do my own broadcasts. I tend to do music broadcasts. I miss old music video shows. Rap City, Video Soul, Video Vibrations.
Hot Tracks.
Hot Tracks. Let's do all Hot Tracks. Thank you, Ted. Hot Tracks. Friday Night Videos. I'm just doing all that. So every now and then I do a music video show. I am on Mixcloud. It will be in the link tree. I do throw it on Twitter. Big ups to Twitter. I know Mike say he wants to get rid of it. I can't. When I'm doing music broadcast, they don't give me no problems. I need Twitter. Thank you.
Hey, I got something for you that I might be doing with music actually that you might want to watch.
Let me know.
Coming up. If I find time, me and my co-host, we gotta find time because trust me, we got some heat for you, man. And you working the magic on the sports level.
I don't even know if I can get to your level on the music level if I was to get up there. You're doing good, man. I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you. My man had Jamel Hill on his show. I told him if he ever gets Jamel Hill on his show, I'm going to tell him he's the man like Bobby Brown told Martin Lawrence, and what's love got to do with it. Mike Patton, you are the man. Do you hear me? You are the
man. You gotta stop, man. You gotta stop.
No, I don't.
But I'll tell you though, this music show, man, it's gonna be 10 episodes more than likely. It'll be we got all the topics laid out. It's just a matter of getting the time to record it and me finishing up, setting up everything, because we got the music, the opening music, the closing music, all that stuff. Working on some sponsors, which I got sponsors for my podcast now, but working on some other ones now for that music podcast. I got a hip hop. I got potentially a game that I could potentially be using as a sponsor for that music podcast.
Go for it.
Trust me, you'll like this game.
Me and you supposed to do a music broadcast together, man. What's up? You gonna fit me into your calendar?
I know, man. I had to.
Am I gonna make your calendar this decade? This half of the decade, or the second half of the decade? That's all I need to know. It's been 2 years now. I already feel we're gonna make 2025. Let me know we're gonna make 2040.
But now I hollered at one of my friends, and she's my co-host, and we definitely got some heat coming for everybody, and I'll say that she is very intricately involved in the music business. I'll just leave it at that till we pop up.
Word. Congratulations, man. Good seeing you, bro.
So
thanks for having me.
Brian TX, to Mr. B, to Tony D, to our special guest, Mike Patton, thank you for coming through. I'm the real Ted Hicks, and we are out.
Good night, everybody.